Bitcoin is right now breaking to the downside. It has broken down from this previous level of a top, which was of course $64.8 thousand. We are now approaching the $60,000 region. STRC at the same time has depacked tremendously from its $100 peg, which it has been basically trading for at, which is the target. And MicroStrategy has now over $10 billion of value associated with STRC. And we're going to discuss this. So let's start with Bitcoin first of all. Bitcoin, of course, we reached our price target here at $67,000 to $68,000. Unfortunately, the short that I had was not hit yet, but don't worry, I think we're still gonna potentially go up to these levels. If not exactly these levels, I'm gonna enter a short because I do still think we're gonna go further down. Would have been nice to have entered here, but nevertheless, it is fine. Now is not good time to enter because we are close to a bottom. And looking here at STRC, we can see that STRC has actually went down tremendously. So it was always at around about $100, paying 11% returns per year. And right now the price has dropped tremendously. In order for the price to go back up, of course, MicroStrategy might have to sell some Bitcoin, which is potentially a reason why we saw Bitcoin down and why we might see Bitcoin to continue to stay down, because people are expecting MicroStrategy to have to sell Bitcoin to pay this 11, 12, I think it's 14% right now based on the current price interest that is being paid to stakeholders here that own STRC preferred stock. And looking at Bitcoin right here, I want to really look at the $60,000 region as something of a target. So if I zoom out a bit here, and yes, ignore my drawings. If I zoom out a bit here, you can see that we have the $60,000 region was at previous support. And if I go down back here, $60,000 region was of course also the bottom of this previous bear flag pattern. And if I zoom out a bit more and go a bit further on the left, we can see here that actually 2024, the $60,000 region has been acting as strong support. And I think that is a level that we should be focusing on. Now, looking at Bitcoin here on the daily, I want to highlight that always in May, we had a drop, right? And the same thing happened now again. In May, we had the big drop. May went down, what was it? We had the big drop in like 24% down. And this is usually always the case that in a bear market, we say sell in May and go away. And the same thing played out this time as well. Of course, let me just remove this so it's easier for to look at. Now, a target that we could have for this bear market is if I take the Fibonacci from the bottom of here at 15,000 to the top at here, what did we have, 126,000, then the golden pocket, which is usually a target, is right here. It's between approximately $53,000 to $57,000, which is, I think, a very nice target. And if we go a bit further down, I think we can reach this level here, like the low 40s. But in my opinion, we are gonna have another leg down. We know that Bitcoin usually goes down for 12 months in a bear market. It has always been the case, and this will bring us to October. That is what everyone is talking about. And another thing to look at, which I have not discussed yet, is actually the volume profile. So the volume profile is something very interesting, and it's telling us where is most of the volume, so where's most of the trading activity going on. And this is in a company with support and resistance lines, a level which we should look at. For example, look at this level. Yes, we had a wick, one sec. Yes, we had a wick down there. Look at this wick, right? We had a wick down here. Let me draw this a bit further down, but the company's volume is not very high. So there was not much trading activity going on there. We just had a quick wick to this level. It's not really a level that is, in my opinion, a support level. If we break down, so we're currently here, of course, at this major level of volume happening, and therefore we also found support at this level in accompanying with, of course, the fact that we were having rejections here. The next level, the big level I can see is right here. You can see it clearly. There's a lot of volume here, and that is, of course, in this region where we have been trading in, and that will bring us to the low 40s. Worst case, I think we can go there. I don't think we can go much lower than that, but this is definitely something that we should be looking at, the volume data. And if I go back to the 1 hourly here, we can see a similar story play out. So if I go on the 1 hourly and look at the volume, where's most of the volume happening, you can see actually there's two big wicks. There's one here, and I know this is just the 1 hourly, so it's just on the shorter time frame. There's two big wicks, right? And if I just draw the line sideways from there, let me draw one here and let me draw one where this peak is, then we can see that that is also where we found the supports, right? So here, this level is basically where we found support here. This is the level that we've been talking about, previous top kind of. And then also right here, this is the current level, and that is why we found some support at this level. You might be wondering, why did we find support here? Well, most previous volume and most previous trading was happening at this level, and that's why we found support here. And now, in my opinion, the next level that we will be going to is where most long traders who are long in the market right now are going to be liquidated, which is of course right here on the liquidation heat map, where we can see the most yellow color, which is around about $60,500 all the way down to like $60,000, which is, in my opinion, where we are going to be going next, and which we know has acted as strong support previously, the yellow line, which I have been discussing. And I just want to quickly highlight this picture, which is always coming up every single time Bitcoin crashes. It is basically just showing that retail is always buying when there's the most interest. And when is there the most interest? Well, of course, when the price is up. So it is always the case that people are not buying when they should be buying, and they should of course be buying at the bottoms, and the bottoms are here at the bottom of the bear market, which has always been a year from the top. It's always been 365 days from the top, pretty much almost exactly to the date. Same way as from the bottom to the top, it's always almost been 1,064 days. And you can, if you just follow these 4-year cycles, I think you can do it pretty well in Bitcoin. And if you don't over leverage yourself, and of course the moment to buy is when everyone is capitulating, and that is just what this picture is highlighting. Now, looking here at Bitcoin, the funding rates and the open interest, what can we see? Well, the most recent rally to the downside, of course, price went to the downside. Funding remained positive, so most people are still longing the markets. People like bullish people, they have not given up yet. They're still trying to catch the bottom. They're still longing, and as long as they are still longing, what does that mean? That means we are still building up liquidity to the downside. This is because these people have their long positions going to be liquidated, right? As long as they're building longs, their liquidity is building up to the downside. Once people start shorting, once funding rates go negative, liquidity is going to be built up to the upside. And usually we go in the other direction to grab most of that liquidity. That's always how the market moves in most cases. And looking here at the open interest, what can I see? Well, I can see that since we went, actually, the price went down, the open interest had a downward trend. And because we can see that the open interest is actually slowly going down rather than really fast going down, whenever it drops down really fast in a sharp move, that means a lot of people who are longing or shorting have been liquidated on their positions. But this is not the case. So the open interest is just the number of active contracts in the market. What we can see is a slow bleed, basically. People who are longing, they're still longing, funding rates are positive, they still believe we're gonna go up. But actually, because open interest is going down, positions are slowly being liquidated. We are going basically in the staircase pattern like we did when we went up. We are just slowly grabbing that liquidity to the upside. And then usually what we do is we go in a staircase in one direction, and then we take the escalator, the elevator in the other direction. So I think we can go more further down slowly, and it's just suggesting that yes, we are slowly grabbing that liquidity. And once we hit this major level of liquidity at $60,000, what I be expecting is that open interest has a massive wick to the downside, like something like here, whereby we grab all of that liquidity, funding rates start shifting to the negative. So basically everyone who's longing has given up, they've all been liquidated, then they starting to short the market, and that is when we start building liquidity to the upside, and we start going, of course, in another direction. That's what I expect to be happening going forward from here. So last thing I want to show is if I go on the weekly and I put the 200, the 300 and the 350 weekly moving average lines on here, we can see that historically we found a bottom for Bitcoin between the 200 and the 350 weekly moving average lines, which is of course these three lines. So the 2 cycles ago, we found the bottom at the 200 weekly moving average. Last cycle, we found the bottom all the way at the 350 weekly moving average. And right now we saw a nice bounce from the 200. But in my opinion, to be benefiting from this bear market and going into the next bull market, of course, we want to be opening short positions, in my opinion, somewhere between the 300 and like the 350 moving average lines. And that is what I'm going to be doing as well. I'm going to keep you updated. Smash the like button. See you tomorrow, and bye.